coming down in 3, 2, 1.
Denton, Texas, America, and the world. It's time for the Green Guys Show.
I'm a big Green Guys fan.
A full hour of all things Mean Green Sports. Live from the KNTU studios on the campus of the University of North Texas.
We're surrounded by North Texas.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the Green Guys Show.
There's not much that gets me more fired up.
The studio still looks different.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Yes, it does.
Welcome one, welcome all to episode number...
Well, technically, you're right. There's only one.
Yeah, welcome one to episode 11 of the Green Guys. You know, when we did episode 9, we had everybody back in the studio. It was me, it was you, Anthony Council, it was Kevin Walker, it was Cullen Brown, it was Blake Elliott. And I was like, wow, we're getting back on track.
Yep.
And then, my God, have the wheels fallen off the last 2 weeks.
You know, when you hit the double digits, you know, sometimes it makes you feel like you're growing up, you know, and I guess, you know, some people are growing up and not showing up to work. But it's okay. It's cool.
It's
also,
all fine.
Shout out to Kevin Walker. Happy birthday, big guy.
Yeah, happy birthday, Kevin. At least he's got a legitimate excuse this week for not being here.
Right.
I don't know about Cullen and Blake. I'm just like, whatever.
What's the public domain happy birthday that we can use? Is it the happy birthday to you?
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
That's
Something
the public
like
domain
that.
one?
Yep.
Yeah.
Public domain one. Yep.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I would have played that, but Kevin's not here, and I didn't care enough to play the birthday song. So, you know, but welcome to the Green Guys, where we discuss all things North Texas sports, the good, the bad, the ugly, everything in between. If you heard a third voice, that would be the voice of Ryan Baldwin, who for the next 25 minutes has agreed to join us today. So it's not just me and Anthony.
Yes.
I am proud to follow in my predecessor's footsteps and be yet another ticket guy that has appeared on the Green Guys at some form or fashion.
Yeah, Sean Bass joined us earlier
Sean
this year.
Bass, and I think, well, Bass, of course, was one of the
Original
OGs.
Green
I
Guys.
think
Yep.
Followell as well, right?
Followell was not. He was on the Green Guys, but he was not an OGG.
Okay, well, there's a couple
Original
others
Green Guy.
that have been on the Green Guys.
Yes.
So just proudly carrying on that tradition.
Yes, and you're the podcast director here at KNTU.
Yes, for another
You-
month and a half or so till graduation.
And then you work for the Ticket.
Work for the Ticket, running the board with you along on these Mean Green productions.
For the Mean Green Sports Network football and maybe some men's basketball games this year.
A couple.
We'll
and
see.
then done a couple of play-by-play gigs for Frisco ISD, and most notably, I'll be doing the play-by-play for Geyer versus Flower Mound Marcus Friday.
Oh,
Everyone tune in to Millennium Sports.
that's going to be fun.
Yeah, I think it's TRSN, TexasRadioSportsNetwork.com or something like that.
TSRN?
TSRN.
Ah, the
maybe. Yeah,
Texas Sports Radio Network.
that one, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So it'll be free.
Ah,
Free.
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 The best kind of free, yeah.
That's
Best
awesome.
kind of free. Yes. Well, welcome, Ryan. Thanks for joining us. So it's not just me and Anthony trying to swim upstream here.
All for sure, bud.
But we're going to jump right into it today and talk a little bit of North Texas football because all three of us are pretty well plugged into the football program. So why not have Ryan Baldwin on to talk a little bit of North Texas football? Looking at the game against FIU, my goodness.
I was right. That's all I got to say. I
yes.
was right.
You picked it to be, what was your spread last week?
Well, there's a lot of spreads, you know?
Yeah, I guess that's true.
I said 75. I said 8 touchdowns,
It wasn't
500 yards.
It wasn't quite that,
Yeah.
but, I mean, it still was good.
Yeah,
Like, really, really good.
I mean, I got the 14 points for FIU right.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right. Okay, congratulations.
And the way they got their 14 points was really funny. I'm not even going to lie. It was actually pretty funny.
It
No
was
one could pick
actually-
up the ball.
Yeah, it was actually really funny. But for as far as North Texas was concerned, you blinked and then it was 14-0.
Yeah.
Like, literally, you blinked and it was 14-0. 2 scores for the Mean Green less than 4 minutes into the game. You had an Iowa Day 2-yard touchdown run, then a Jordan Smart 45-yard pass. That was Smart's first score of the season from Austin Awney. Still 11-10 to play in the first quarter, and it's 14-0. Follow that up with an Ethan Mooney field goal. Then Varquise Gums got a 10-yard pass from Austin Awney. This is still all in the first quarter, by the way. 24-0. after the end of the first quarter. By the way, that is the most North Texas has outscored a singular opponent in the first quarter of a football game since 1995.
That's crazy. So they broke records.
It's okay.
Yeah, or at least they did something that hasn't been done a lot.
It's all right.
So, yeah.
It's just all right.
Yeah, it's okay.
It's okay. So 24-0. Then the second quarter, things kept going out of control for FIU. Jair Shorter had a 57-yard pass from Austin Awney, made it 31-0. Then Ikaika Ragsdale had a 6-yard pass from Austin Awney, made it 38-0. Then FIU got their 2 points. EJ Wilson on a 2-yard run, and then, like Anthony said, one of the more comical plays of the year, an interception, like literally right in the face of Austin Awney as a defender, and he throws it
That's so funny.
right to him.
Yeah.
He just had to kind of like stab it out of the air and pick it off.
Yeah.
And then-
Panic. Everybody panics a little bit when you got a 275-pound lineman coming down you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or what was the Collinsworth quote from a few weeks ago? I won't say it on air.
Yeah, I don't want to
Right.
get this podcast to get canceled, but you are the podcast director, so
That's what I say goes, right?
yeah,
Yeah,
what you say
right,
is fine.
exactly.
But yeah, so it was an interception. Awney dove, missed, and the guy kept going. Then I think it was Varkey's Gomes, one of the wideouts for the Mean Green, came down, punched the ball out.
Yep. I saw
And
that.
then
I
it-
remember that.
Pinballed around and went right into the hands of an FIU player. That FIU player was Adrian Cole, who picked it up and walked into the end zone.
Do the Benny Hill theme song, type of.
Yes. And it was just like, wait, they have points on the board now? We're supposed to blow them out. It's supposed to be
Yeah, it was suddenly 38-14, which
supposed to be 38-0, but it
Yeah.
was like, okay, guys, well,
Okay, like come on, 38-14 is nothing to sneeze at.
and then
it's something to sneeze at when you're playing the worst team in the conference.
Yeah, but even some of the best teams in the nation don't completely shut out some of the worst teams.
I'm not trying to hate on FIU, but it's FIU, bro.
Yeah, but even Bama gave up 3 points against, like, who was that last year? They beat 66-3 or something like that.
Southern Nazarene. Oh, wait a minute. Never mind.
But, I mean,
Back to the scoring drive here, or the scores. Jair Shorter got another touchdown pass from Austin Awney, this time 35 yards, made it 45-14. And then we got to see a little bit of Stone Earl, had a big run to set up what ended up being a 1-yard touchdown run, making it 52-14, and that would be all she wrote.
Ohio State, by the way, gave up 12 points against Arkansas State, just so y'all are aware.
okay.
Just so
Okay.
y'all are aware.
Okay,
The
yeah.
Red Wolves of Arkansas State.
Yeah.
Right.
So let's just keep that in mind here.
Okay.
Okay, FIU's
Thanks for
is.
keeping us grounded, Ryan Baldwin.
Yeah.
Thank you, Podcast King.
If you don't know,
Y'all
Anthony-
invited me on. If y'all didn't want this, y'all should have said something.
you'll know Anthony Council is the ultimate optimist here on the
I
game,
am.
guys. He said 9-3 this year.
Well,
the
that's
preseason
good because
thing.
I am the one that will ground everybody here
Okay, alrighty. Well, good to
and
have
bring
some
you back
balance
down
out.
to earth.
Well, are they going to beat UAB this week? Mr. Ground back to earth. Are they going to get back to earth this weekend?
I think that they will, but I think it'll be a heart attack inducer because UAB gave UTSA a run for their money their past week. And I know UAB hasn't had the best season overall, but they still have that potential to give a UNT team that's not ready, or, for heaven forbid that Austin Awney shows up like old Austin Awney, or even new Austin Awney. He still threw 2 picks.
Yeah,
in
Yeah.
this win.
he's that for how good of a game Austin Awney can have. He still is just an interception magnet.
There's
sometimes
those head
is.
scratchers where it's
still
just
a pick six magnet for that.
Yeah.
So
that reason.
and against a team like UAB, a pick 6 is enough to completely turn a game around and lose you
Yeah.
the
That's
game.
true.
So I think they will win. I think they're certainly capable of winning. I don't think it's a walk in the park by any stretch of the imagination. But like my dad used to say, the great teams beat good teams and take care of business against bad teams. So they took care of business against FIU. Now you have to go to a pretty solid team in UAB, and you have to beat them too.
On the topic of FIU, were you surprised? Because FIU is not, I'm kind of between the two of y'all because I don't think they're the worst team in the world, but I also did not expect them to get punched in the mouth to start this game like they did.
I mean, you got to remember, there's still an FBS team, no matter what you say.
Yeah.
There's still going to be, I mean, obviously North Dakota State will take games off of teams on any level.
Yeah.
But FIU is still an FBS team, and they're still a step up against any Division II or Division III football program, right? If FIU comes into Austin College, let's not kid ourselves here and say, hey, man, Austin College is going to have a shot.
Go Roos!
It just goes to show you that even in, I mean, there's 120 schools, right?
Yeah, 130 now.
130 schools in the FBS. That range of teams, when you're looking at how good Georgia is, that means on the other side, you're going to have teams like a UMass or an FIU or an FAU that are back on the other side here. And even if they're not that bad, even if they're not like, towards 130, 100 is still going to be pretty bad.
Yeah. Because they came into this game 4-4. This was a team that over the last 2 years, between 2020 and 2021, had won one game. They went 1-11 last year. They went winless during the COVID campaign.
Wow. Okay.
They were 4-4 this year. That included they were coming off of a big win against Louisiana Tech in Ruston.
Yeah.
So I thought we were at least going to get a shot from them. But again, you blinked, and it was over practically. You get out of the first quarter. You didn't even. They didn't even make it 4 minutes before it was 14-0.
That's very true.
I think the COVID year has really thrown a lot of things out of whack because you get a lot of extra players in fifth year
that's true.
Wouldn't normally be playing, but have a whole extra year of experience. And honestly, I think that maybe not at the highest level, because the highest level like Bama, Georgia, Ohio State, LSU, those guys are always bringing in 5-star recruits, and so there's always that cream of the crop, right?
Yeah.
But sometimes you get these guys who get a whole extra year to develop, and they're playing when normally they'd be out. I think that can give you a chance to take games off of teams that you wouldn't normally see and kind of mix things up a little bit. Not in every game, but I think the COVID year, we're still going to see the effects of it for another, 2-3 years at least.
Yeah, once you get whoever were freshmen in 2020 get their extra year.
Yeah, so like two more years.
2024, 2 more years.
So you're going to see some of these teams that still have 25, 26-year-old players, and that makes a difference because sometimes...
Or 29.
Or Austin Awney. But sometimes you're going to have these guys... You may end up, think about teams that are really young right now, that are mostly sophomores and freshmen, right?
Yeah.
Or that were sophomores and freshmen in 2020.
2020, yeah.
You're going to have a team full of fifth-year guys in your program.
There's a lot of 2025 and 2026.
Yeah. Or you have guys with one extra year of availability, like Keontae Johnson, the guy that collapsed during December of 2020, the college basketball player who collapsed on the court.
Yeah.
He transferred to Kansas State in his final year because he got the COVID year, and he made his first start on Monday. But so imagine how many fifth-year guys that are looking at it going at big programs.
Yeah.
That are going okay, they're going to go with somebody younger at my spot because this guy's a top 10 cornerback in the nation.
Yeah. Might as well go to another school.
I'll go to another school. And then you have a guy that's been playing at a Power 5 school going to maybe a Group of 5 school to play his last year because he wants to play in his last COVID year.
Yeah.
So I think you're going to see a whole bunch of shake-up here. And then there's going to be, games where teams inexplicably win or lose, and there's really no rhyme or reason to it.
So, again, to kind of put the bow on the FIU game, it was a game North Texas was supposed to win, and they won handily, minus the weird 14-0 run that FIU put together in the third quarter.
What did I say the game was last week? I said the game was going to be what? A romp! It was a romp! We ran over FIU, and that's what happened.
All right.
That's what happened.
The optimist himself.
Boom.
Drops the mic. And probably
and against
destroys
UAB,
the one that we have there.
Yeah, this mic is destroyed. And against UAB, we may not win the battle, but we may win the war.
Oh, really?
Maybe.
You better win the battle because if you don't win the battle, you don't get to go to war against UTSA.
That's true.
They'll still have an outside shot.
We're still bowl bound.
They still need to beat Rice, and then they would need some help.
Let's not pretend like being bowl bound for this school is something to cheer about. Okay,
they've done it 6 of the last 7 years.
We know how this has gone 6 of the last 7 years.
So let's shift gears here into UAB. This is a game. So the Vegas line has been moving on this game. UAB opened up as 10-point favorites. That line is down to 6.
I'm glad it's down to 6. I do think UAB at home is probably a favorite. Like I mentioned,
Yeah.
it's going to be a rough game either way. I think 10 was a bit much.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the fact that they took UTSA to 2 overtimes is the only reason they're favored,
Yeah.
to be quite honest.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I don't think 6 at home is unfair.
They've got a good defense over there. Their offense, I mean, it's still putting up points and yards, don't get me wrong. They're averaging 31 points per game, 449 yards of offense per game, and it's pretty balanced, way leaning towards the run, though. 243 rushing yards per game compared to 206 passing yards per game. But then where UAB has, had luck this year is defensively. They've lost 3 straight, but they've been in all 3 of those games. They beat Middle, they beat Charlotte, then they lost 20-17 to Western, lost 24-17 to FAU. Those were 2 road games, by the way. And then went home and lost in double overtime to the best team in the conference, 44-38 in UTSA. Their defense only gives up about 347 yards a game, 185 through the air, 162 on the ground. So they are a slightly better run defense team than they are a passing defense team. Obviously, it's nice that Austin Auni's coming off of a 400-plus yard passing game with 5 touchdowns. But the running back room's getting a little thin right now. I mean, we're down to just Adeye and Johnson?
Yeah, but that's
because Oscar's hurt. I
still feel like if there's one position where I'm not worried, though,
it's the running back room.
Running backs.
Yeah, me too.
For whatever reason, we always seem to find a way to get somebody in there that can produce. Now, my main concern is, maybe not concern, but maybe let's call it a matchup battle is running back versus running back, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because you're looking at the top two running backs from UAB. They're both averaging more than 5 yards a carry.
Yeah.
With Dwayne McBride averaging 7 and Jermaine Johnson Jr. averaging 6 a carry.
Yeah.
That is stout. So, you know what? You may be looking at a 2.5 hour ball game with how well these two teams run the football. It could be a quick in and out and everybody's home in time to get to the bar.
Yep, there you go.
I know that Austin Aune may not be. I mean, I think he's having a great year right now.
Oh yeah, statistically he is, minus the interceptions. But
yeah, right. I mean, 2 interceptions against FIU. I think that since UAB is better at run defense, I think that Austin Aune could have a good game in the air, maybe, hopefully. But just because they're better on the ground, I mean, yes, the run, like you said, Ryan, the running back room is perfectly fine. I think I'm not worried about that. I just think that if he has a decent game in the air with no interceptions, I think they could win the game. They could.
Is this one of those be a game manager type games? Don't turn the ball over. Ryan Baldwin, you just made a face. What's going through your head?
I don't think against a team like UAB that you can afford to be just a game manager, right?
So you got to do something.
This is more, if you're going to compare it to like Cooper Rush was the game manager for 3 out of, or how many? It was 5 games he played. He was the game manager 4 out of 5.
Yeah.
But when it came time to play against the Eagles, you couldn't afford to have a game manager, right?
Right.
You need somebody that can make these plays. And this is kind of the same situation where you're going up against a team that's you haven't seen that's as good as you've seen since UTSA.
Mm-hmm.
You can't afford to have somebody that's just going to be a game manager. You need somebody that's going to make plays, which puts Aune in that coin flip situation of, all right, he can either throw for 5 touchdowns and 2 interceptions or no touchdowns and 2 interceptions.
Right.
So it's coming down to which one's it going to be.
Anthony Council, do you have a score prediction for me?
Well, I'm not going to be as optimistic as I was for FIU because, that was homecoming and everybody knows homecoming was lit. But this upcoming game, I think it's going to be close. I think it's going to be a lot of on-the-ground movement, just with, some of the top running backs in our conference. I think I'm still going to go with UNC winning this game. I'm going with 35. No, I'll go 42. 42-38
Okay.
UNT.
So a little high scoring for how these two teams have been. Okay. Ryan Baldwin?
As I mentioned earlier, I think this game is going to be a super quick one, which is going to limit the overall number of possessions for each team. I think you're going to have some stall outs because I don't think they're going to have the best passing day. So I'm going to go with something a bit more low scoring. I'm going to say it's going to be 27-24 UNT at the end on a game-winning field goal. Ethan Mooney's going to pull one out for the Mean Green.
Okay. I will go...
Wait, you can give your opinion on the show.
Well, there's only 3 of us in this room, including me, so I have to give out some opinions. 31-28, North Texas.
Okay. So at the end of the day, UNT's winning, projectedly.
We all think it's going to be pretty close. Yeah. None of us are predicting blowouts.
No. Definitely not. Definitely not this game.
Yeah.
Maybe against Rice. Maybe. Maybe.
I got to tell you, obviously you never want to look ahead.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you, Luttrell does not have this team looking ahead. He knows full well that UAB will beat you if you take your eyes off them.
Right.
But Rice is one of those trap games, I feel like. Rice is
By the way, I don't think we've mentioned it yet. If we beat UAB and Western beats Rice, we clinch a spot in the conference title game.
Oh, wow.
That's a thing.
Yeah.
So I'll ask you the same question I asked Alec. So we're moving to the American.
Yes.
Right. Do you think that the big guy, in charge of the football team, I'm not going to say the name or anything, you think he's going with us?
Well, I know what Alec said because I know Alec very well and I know his feelings on the subject. It's a tough one because I feel like he hasn't been so bad that people can say he doesn't deserve a spot to the opportunity at least. But I can also see the idea from the athletic director and upper management to go, you know what? It's a new era of UNT athletics. It's time for some new coaching. And I think honestly you could see that across maybe a couple different sports, not just football. But I don't, like I said, you have at least gone to bowls 6 of the last 7 years.
Yeah.
There's some teams that can't even say that.
That's very true.
Even if you haven't been able to pull out a win in a bowl game, you've at least gone. So I don't think it's fair to say that he doesn't deserve to go with it. And I think there's still, I still think there's every chance that he doesn't go specifically because I think there's not many better times where you'll have the circumstances to go, you know what, let's just part ways here.
Yeah.
The other question is, too, you got to look at who do you go get? Personally, I know everybody loves the defensive coordinator over there, Mr. Phil Bennett. And I know that a lot of the players love him. So, if there's one of those things where you've got somebody that can maybe move in and just kind of take over for a year while you look if you needed. But again, I don't think that Luttrell has had that so terrible of a time over there that he doesn't at least deserve a shot to go and just see how things go. And here's the other thing. You're going over to the American. You've played 2 teams this year in the American, SMU and Memphis. And you got thrashed by SMU and pretty handily beat by Memphis. You were able to make it a game a little bit, but other than that, it ended up being
21 points off turnovers did not help the Memphis game.
Yeah.
Right. But this is the level of competition you're going to play against week in and week out. Now, of course, Cincinnati going away, UCF going away, Houston going away, some of the powerhouses are gone. But, if you keep Luttrell, then the fan base has to realize that you cannot expect Luttrell to go necessarily and be bowl eligible in this new conference next year because it's going to take time to get recruits in for the new AAC level. It's going to take time for the money to come in to help with NILs and all this stuff that helps bring new recruits in and helps get your talent pool up to an American Athletic Conference level. It's going to take time. So it's weird. It's a weird situation overall because I can see every reason for keeping him on, and I could see every reason for taking him out, right? Because if you're keeping him on, you're basically committing to him and saying, if we lose, people are going to complain about it, even though it's probably not his fault. If he stays, he gets, in my eyes, a free pass for whatever happens next year. just because of the competition, the sudden spike in competition level that you're going to be facing.
Yeah.
But if you get rid of him, then get a whole brand new system. And again, that new coach also gets a free slate for the year because it's going to be, well, it's a new coach. He's got to come into a new conference. So I can see it either way. If I had to guess, he's still got, 1 year left on his contract after this?
His contract would expire after the year, basically the December of the end of our first year of the American.
Right. So he would have 1 year in the Athletic for them to decide. I think he's here next year, and I think they reevaluate after that. And I think you also, at that point, get an idea of you have a better idea of who's on the job market a year from now that might want to come coach an American Athletic Conference team as opposed to a Conference USA team. That helps too. So,
well, there you go. That's football talk. Ryan Baldwin, thank you so much for filling in this week.
Of course, thanks for having me, Bab and Council, BC. What I do?
We were toying with the idea of the A to Z podcast. Anthony and Zach.
Anthony to Zach.
You actually go by Anthony. Most people just call me Bab.
Bab.
So, but yes, that will do it for football talk. Special thanks to Ryan Baldwin for stepping in. Coming up next, we shift gears to basketball.
Hello, this is Joe Green, and you're listening to the Green Guys on KNTU.
Welcome back to the Green Guys, where we discuss all things North Texas sports, the good, the bad, the ugly, everything in between. Now time to, before we jump into basketball, I do want to take a brief look at soccer and volleyball, because we did not discuss them at all last week, and I think we at least owe them the courtesy of at least mentioning them, even if our schedules have been a little too crazy to completely focus on them. But soccer did wrap up their season. They were unfortunately beat in the conference tournament by UTSA. Kind of it went from we have a shot to suddenly win this thing because the top seed, Rice, got upset the day before our second round game. So it was suddenly, we're the 2 seed, we're the highest seed left. We just throttled Western Kentucky in our first round matchup 5-1. And then we played UTSA and lost 2-1, and UTSA ended up going on to win the whole thing.
I was shocked that we lost to UTSA.
That was a bummer.
I mean, they scored. I think they scored in the first, and then I think we scored in the second, right?
I think so, yeah.
And then they scored again, and I was just like, I was kind of shocked that we lost to UTSA.
Yeah,
because I mean, if you look at it,
because they were the 6th seed out of how many teams make the tournament out of the 11-team field? 8?
Yeah, I think 8. Yeah,
and they won the whole thing.
The 6th seed.
The 6th seed won the whole thing.
Yeah,
this is like the 95 Rockets.
Right. I mean, because looking at the game, I mean, the UTSA took more shots than us in the first, not in the second, though. They took 10 shots in the first and then 6 shots in the second. We had more saves, though, in the first. 6 saves to their 0 in the first.
Danny Jacobson keeping the team in it.
Right. Corner kicks that they had 3 to R2 in the first, and then they had 0 to R4. But also we had more fouls than they did in the second. We had 9 fouls compared to their 2 fouls.
Ooh,
so that'll
hurt.
Yeah, that could have played a lot.
Because you're basically, stop and play, give the other team the ball, and they can set up whatever they want.
Yeah, so I think that could have been. I'm not going to say that UNT has a penalty problem, but we have a penalty problem.
That may be the lone micro issue.
Yeah.
On the team,
whether it's cards,
it bit us,
flags, fouls, any sport, like just disqualifications in track. Like, it's like, come on, guys.
Really, that's a problem in track?
I mean, if you're running on the line, then you're DQ'd.
Oh, okay.
So it's
I know next to nothing about track.
I got you.
But I know you're the expert in track, Anthony Council, so I guess it all cancels out. But yeah, soccer finishes their season with a 12-6-2 record. They finished 7-2-1 in conference play. Still no losing seasons because John Hedlund is a genius.
That is understandable.
But
I know that this loss is going to eat them all season.
Yeah, especially for Maddie Drenowatz and Olivia Klein.
Yes.
And that group of seniors, that's a tough way to go out. Not quite as tough as last year where they lost 1-0 on an own goal.
Yeah.
To get knocked out of the conference tournament. But it's still going to sting because that was the 6th seed. And after Rice got beat, you were the 2 seed. You're the highest seed left, the favorite to win the whole thing, and to lose to the 6th seed.
I really wonder if they saw this coming. I feel like they I'm not gonna say what they did, but they might have just underestimated them.
Might have.
Because if you're playing against
UTSA soccer?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, exactly.
Who looks at UTSA and goes, soccer?
No, nobody. Nobody ever looks at that. It's like, oh, football, basketball, football, but no one looks at soccer.
No.
They're probably looking now.
Yeah. Now UTSA is going to the NCAA tournament. So.
Yeah, right, exactly.
But, soccer season wraps up. Volleyball season is about to wrap up. They sit at 13-14, and they are on a little bit of a roll right now. They have won 3 of their last 4. The only loss is to the number 21 ranked team in the country in Rice. So that's expected. That's fine. You go back to the 5th game, they had what I would call an inexplicable loss to a very, very bad Louisiana Tech team. They lost in 5 sets to Louisiana Tech. But since then, it has been full steam ahead for Christy Porter's crew. 3-2 over UTEP, 3-1 over UTSA, the aforementioned 3-0 loss to a ranked Rice team. And then, man, when they look behind the 8 ball, I was at the Middle Tennessee game.
It was a shootout, wasn't it? Or a blowout, really.
Well, no. They were down in every set, and they came roaring back all 3 times. They were down in the second set. They were down 12-1.
12-1?
12-1.
The ending set is 28-6.
And they won 28-26. They fought with literally everything they had.
Jeez.
They were down 12-1 in that second set and rallied back to win 28-26.
That's amazing.
So if you want to say anything about a first-year head coach at a new program, if anything, this team doesn't roll over.
Yeah, they definitely have fight.
They give you everything they got.
They definitely have fight for sure. I mean,
that was a sweep over Middle, by the way, 3-0. Middle ended up not winning a single set.
So talk to me about the second set, because I'm interested in the second set. Like what was?
So it was.
Going
I believe
on?
Porter called 2 timeouts in the first 13 points because it was 8-0 and then 12-1, and I think Porter called a timeout at 8-0 and then called a timeout at 12-1. And then they just came firing out of nowhere. So 12-1 became 16-16.
Oh, wow.
So they outscored them 15-4 after that second timeout.
Jeez.
That Porter took.
I don't know what Coach Porter was telling them, but they must have told him something.
Yeah.
Like, that's incredible.
Yeah.
And then come out with the win, just destroying them 3-0. Yeah. UNT has fight for sure. I can understand the loss against a ranked Rice team. I mean, I think if they won 1 set, that would have been great. But I mean
they play when Rice, that was at Rice, by the way.
Yeah.
When Rice came here, they pushed him to 5 sets.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it was a 3-2 loss.
Jeez, yeah. Because
if anything, this team has fight.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that they're going to do good against UAB. I mean, they only have 2 more games. UAB.
Final home game of the year is UAB. We're recording this on a Wednesday night, so that would be tomorrow. This will probably come out tomorrow, so tonight. November 10th is my point.
And then November 12th, Saturday, in Charlotte, North Carolina.
The final game of the regular season.
Do you think they're going to make it to the Conference USA Championship?
Yeah, they'll make the tournament.
Okay.
Now, again, it's going to be, how deep can they go in the tournament? Because they've got a winning conference record. They're 7-5 in conference right now.
Yeah.
So, even though they're 13-14 overall. I really think, as far as the tournament goes, I could see it going either way. I could see them... I guess I could see it going either way. I think they're going to surprise some people, though, in the tournament. It would not shock me if they make it a couple rounds, 3 rounds deep.
Really?
Yeah, because I think they can just... Even when they're down, they know how to fight back.
Mm-hmm. And they got a good squad. Like it's
not a bad team. That's the thing. We harp on how much it's a first-year head coach, and so many new players, and it takes time to gel. Yes, that's all true, but they're not bad by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah. I mean, they got.
They're a 500 team. They're hovering around 500 both in conference and overall. So at the very least, they're a 500 middle of the pack team.
Yeah, but
they've got a lot of fight, and they can come out swinging. And it wouldn't shock me if they pull a UTSA soccer and
really,
and
just surprise
a couple people. I don't think they're going to go all the way and win the whole tournament.
But they could. They could. They could.
But I think they're gonna thump a couple people.
Yeah, I mean they they got some ball players. I like that because I mean just from
Shadiman Holly, CC Harness, Triana Rush, Truly Levy.
Mm-hmm. We've
Taylor Litteken.
We've talked about their players and how good they are. I mean, like you said, we've talked about the coaching thing, and about first year and stuff like that. But I mean, from seeing if you go to the game, like you can definitely see. Okay, it's not like they haven't been here before, but it's like okay, we're not going to give up.
Yeah,
like first year, nothing. Like we're going to fight till we go out.
My favorite thing that I noticed now that I've covered, I think, like I've actually been from tape to tape. I've been at 4 matches this year, doing various things for the athletic department, and I think what I'm catching on to is when Porter stands up, calls a timeout, and then punches her clipboard. Usually, it changes on a dime after that.
That's funny. That is funny. That's funny.
When the clipboard gets punched, something's about to happen.
Yeah, definitely. For sure.
But that's volleyball. Again, they're wrapping up their season this week. They got the home game Thursday, November 10th against UAB, final home game of the year, senior night, and then at Charlotte to conclude the regular season Saturday, the 12th. And that will let us dovetail directly into basketball talk. And, oh, my goodness, it got a little scary for the men's season opener on Monday.
I don't know what I was watching. I was watching the game, looking at the score. I was like, what is going on? Like you guys are tied?
They had no Tyler Perry. They had no Reuben Jones. I will give them that in their defense.
But
they
did have a Huntsberry,
Kai Huntsberry.
He's a baller.
Get that kid at the free throw line at the end of every game.
Oh my gosh.
He made 8 consecutive free throws. I was here running the board for the Mean Green Sports Network.
Yeah.
Dave Barnett, who does play-by-play, said of the 8 free throws, he swished nothing but net on 7 of them.
Yeah, I like him.
Yeah.
Very good pickup. I mean, we talked about him last week on the podcast, and I was raving about him. I mean, the amount of points he was able to make, I mean, his efficiency. I mean, he's going to be really good for North Texas this year.
Yeah. Played 38 minutes. Again, he was 5 of 12 shooting, 2 of 8 from downtown, but 8 of 8 from the free throw line down the stretch to give him 20 points. Abu Usman, man, he looks like a different person. Like seeing him in warm-ups, there is no body fat left on him.
Yeah.
He really took this off season seriously.
Yeah, he toned up.
Yeah.
Very it was a very good game for him, for sure.
He kept us in that game, and then Huntsberry closed the lid on it.
Yeah. Literally. I thought
23 for Abu, by the way, in 32 minutes. That included a double-double. He had 10 rebounds. He was 9 of 21 from the floor, had an assist as well.
Yeah, I think I was surprised. The player I was surprised at was obviously Huntsberry. I mean, no one really knows of him if you don't listen to either this podcast or you don't look at UNC basketball, like you don't know who this new guy is.
Yeah.
But I mean, he came in like it's mid-season, dropping a 20 bomb on him, which is amazing. And I just the thing I was kind of not disappointed about, but it was just like, well, where's everybody else at? I mean, Aaron Scott
had a decent game.
He did, 7 points, 3 for 5, 9 rebounds, 4 personal fouls.
I was less enthused by. I mean, we had. I'm afraid this is going to be a top-heavy team. like depth-wise.
Mhm.
I'm afraid we don't have the depth that we had the last couple of years because only 4 players scored in total.
Yeah, that was
You
the
had
scary part.
23 from Usman, 20 from Huntsbury, 7 from Scott, and then 3 from Christian Moore off the bench. You had 2 starters who never even scored.
Yeah,
And
that was scary.
Stoney, Matthew Stone, and Tyree Eady. They did not score. They went a combined 0 for 5 from the floor.
Yeah, I was kind of a little shocked. And
I also think in their defense too, they'll be a little more comfortable, or they'll be a little better for most games because I don't think they're going to shoot 18% from 3 in most games.
Yeah,
That was bad.
That was really
4 of
bad.
22 from downtown was not good.
Yeah, 34% from field goal range as well. Yeah, they're going to shoot a lot better. I think when they play St. Mary's this upcoming,
That is a tough game.
it is. I know. If
Only team that beat Gonzaga last year.
if McCaslin knows better, which we know he does, he's going to have his starters out there like Tyler Perry to play this game.
I hope Perry's back.
Because I don't think he's injured.
No, he was hurt.
Oh, he was hurt?
He was hurt for that game. That's why he didn't play.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, so I don't know what the status of his injury is. But
Oh, boy.
That
Okay.
would be nice if he could play against St. Mary's, because if he doesn't, if we trot out a same no Tyler, no Ruben team against St. Mary's, I'm a little afraid they might wax us.
Yeah, we were 4 for 22 from the 3-point line. Like you said, 18.2% from the 3. But, 61.9% because of Huntsbury from the free throw line. But in the beginning, it was a tough game. I mean, it was tough. I mean,
And that's a good D2 program, by the way, in Southern Nazarene.
Yeah.
They're the 12th ranked D2 program in the country.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'll give him credit. McCaslin said on the radio pregame show that this is going to be a tough game.
Yeah.
And it was.
Yeah, I mean,
They pulled it out, thank goodness.
It was funny. I actually saw it was a post on Twitter. Someone said it was like before, when I would go to a home game for basketball, there would be empty, no one in the stands anymore. Or before, a couple, 50 people in the stands. Now there was 110. There was
students alone. There were 1,300.
Yeah, 1,300 students there, and
the Maniacs took up 3 sections on their own.
Yeah,
that was impressive.
The Maniacs came out and balled out for us, literally. It was amazing. I mean, having the Maniacs at those games really helps. I am very excited to see how much of the student section shows out for tomorrow's game.
Yeah.
For the girls, because who do the girls play tomorrow?
They play Texas A&M and Texarkana.
Texas A&M, Texarkana for the first game.
Yeah, that's an NAIA team. They're not even NCAA.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. Okay.
So we should win that game. To give you perspective, the last time we played Texas A&M, Texarkana, we scored 114 points, 2 points shy of setting the school record for a single game.
Wow.
And you want to just take a guess at how much we beat them by?
60.
Nailed it.
60 points.
114 to 54. That is the second time you've done this on this show. With my stupid quiz show, a month ago, you nailed 1994 or whenever Memphis State became Memphis. And now you just landed 60 on the nose.
Hey.
Okay, whatever.
You see what happens? You see what happens when you show up to work consistently every show, just about. Besides one, you just get things right, nail it on the head,
man.
But for the girls, for the Mean Green women's basketball team, they look good. They look very good.
Oh, man, I hope. I think I've said this before. I think they might be the Mike D'Antoni Rockets this year in terms of live by the 3, die by the 3.
Yeah.
Because, man, they've got some shooters.
Bree looks great.
Yeah.
Bree looks good. She's
that
a baller.
Is one hell of a freshman.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
She's cold. She's that second ball handler that Quincy needs.
Yeah.
She's able to put the ball on the floor. She's able to shoot the three. She's able to make a mid-range shot. I mean, she's an all-around player. Like there's nothing you like. You can't just put her in one spot and just like say, okay, shoot the three. No, you can. I believe you can really give her the ball and say, okay, go make a play, and she's gonna go make a play.
Yeah.
Like,
did you see that Euro step she put on A&M International?
That was smooth. That was
really smooth.
That was smooth. I'm very excited to see how they do tomorrow, especially in conference play. I know you have a busy road trip upcoming.
7-game road trip in December.
Yeah, that's gonna be that's gonna be a test for sure. But I do like what I saw from the women's basketball team. I think that Quincy, she's obviously the head of the snake for the team. But I think with the depth that they have, which I do think that women's basketball for us has more depth than the men's, honestly.
Yeah.
I think that she's not going to have to take a lot of the load this year. I think it's going to be it could be.
You know who takes the pressure off her as well, in addition to Bree?
Who?
Jocelyn Moore from Incarnate Word. That is another. You want to talk about a 3-point barrage? Did I stop me if I brought this up before on this show or to you? We attempted, North Texas did, as a team last year, about 500 threes. Take a guess, Anthony Council, at how many 3-pointers Jocelyn Moore attempted on her own at Incarnate Word last year.
30. 5.
For a whole season.
Oh, okay. It was with a shot.
500 for a whole season for North Texas.
Oh.
How many did Jocelyn Moore attempt all season last year at Incarnate Word?
You said 500 for North Texas.
North Texas put up 500 as a team last year.
Yeah.
How many did Jocelyn Moore attempt on her own at Incarnate Word last year?
500. Jeez. Okay. Well, if it's a 3-pointer.
The number might shock you. I don't think you're going to get this one on the head. I don't even think you're going to come close.
Is it big or is it small?
It's big.
260.
Wow, you overshot it. I thought, okay, I'll give you credit. 222.
Dang. Ah, man. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
She attempted nearly on her own.
Against Incarnate Word?
No. She played for Incarnate Word last year.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Oh, wow.
On the season, Moore attempted on her own 222 threes.
Oh, my gosh.
So we might shoot 750 threes this year.
That's a lot.
As a team.
That's a lot.
And you look at the box score, too, of the A&M International exhibition.
Mm-hmm.
Maddie Cleary put up 8 threes in that game. Maddie Cleary doesn't play that much.
Right.
She averages I think she averaged 5 minutes a game last year.
Mm-hmm.
She came out there for 20 minutes and put up 8 threes. That's where I'm thinking we're going to be the Mike D'Antoni Rockets, and we're going to live by the 3 and die by the 3. And I hope to God we live by the 3 because if having Quincy Noble and Jocelyn Moore and you got Maddie Cleary who can come off the bench and shoot, you've got a host of other players who are 3-point takers on this team. We may attempt the most threes in the country. That would not shock me at all if we lead the country in attempted threes this year.
Yeah, Quincy Noble shooting 6 for 12 from field goal, 3 for 6 from the 3-point line, 6 rebounds, 17 points in the exhibition. Jacqueline Moore 6 for 12 at just the same with Quincy. 2 for 6 from the 3, 14 points and 5 rebounds. I mean, you had 3 players in double figures in points.
Oh, you know what? Something that really impressed me, speaking of that exhibition game, Tamisha Lampkin. If she plays like she did, I know it's
4 for 4 from free throw line.
I know
charity stripe.
Yeah, and I know it's an exhibition game against a school nobody's heard of. If she put up 22 in that exhibition, which blows her career high out of. If that was an actual game, I think she would have near doubled her career high. I don't think she's ever scored. I'd have to look, but I don't think she's ever scored more than 14 in a game. Let me look that up real quick because I don't want to be selling her short if I'm wrong. Tamisha Lampkin, let's see.
But also, my homegirl.
Loudermill?
Yeah, 11 points, 4 for 11. 2 for 4 from the free throw line. That's not bad. Not gonna lie.
Career. Okay, here we go. Career statistics. She is averaging. Oh, why didn't just give me the season? Okay, she had 16, but her career high is 16 points. But that came against the Science and Arts of Oklahoma Drovers.
Interesting.
So if she's only averaging about 10.5 per game. If she can bump that up to 15, look the F out. Like, holy cow. If she plays anywhere close to how she did in that exhibition, this could be a very, very scary Mean Green team for the rest of Conference USA.
We're talking Lampkin, right?
Lampkin, yeah.
Lampkin looked good.
Yeah.
She looked really good.
She looked really good in that exhibition.
I'm very excited about this team this year. I mean,
I am too.
Like, you got a lot of elite transfers that you guys have.
Yeah.
I think that we're gonna do very good in conference play. I think we're gonna do even better in non-conference. Honestly, I'm just gonna point it out there. We could have a banner up. We could.
Yeah.
We could just because
middle's gonna be a hard team to topple.
Yeah, that's true.
But you get hot at the right time.
Yeah. I mean, the first quarter 18, 23, 7, 14, 22, 22, 19, 28, then your final score is 87, 66 UNT. I mean it's going to be a fun season.
Yeah.
Let's just say that.
Yeah. It should be. Anywho, that'll do it for another episode of The Green Guys. Anthony Council, thank you for showing up.
Of course.
I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Check out tomorrow or even today when this podcast might come out. Women's basketball, they are playing
Texas A&M, Texarkana, 6:30 p.m. sharp.
First game of the season for the women's, as well as volleyball is going to be playing tomorrow or today, Thursday.
Again, depending on when you're listening.
Right. And Saturday for their last game, and then they'll be into the CUSA tournament as well as men's basketball is
Sunday at 7 o'clock at St. Mary's.
So if you're a Maniac, come on out, join the Maniacs and the whole entire student section, and shout out and rock out for your Mean Green Sports.
That's another episode of The Green Guys. Thanks for listening.
Hey everybody, this is Jaylee Mitchell, head coach of the University of North Texas women's basketball team, and you are listening to The Green Guys. The Green Guys. The Green Guys. The Green Guys.